Hey folks, Jonathan Triumphant here, targeted individual from Winnipeg, Manitoba. I apologize about the poor picture quality. I don't know if it has something to do with the ELFs or what the deal is, but I really wanted to make this video for a while, and I'm super glad I'm making it today. I'm hoping that a lot of new targeted individuals that are just being awakened to what's going on will see this. Because it's really, really, really difficult to discern what's happening with you when this first starts. For me, I was gang stalked a number of years ago. Um, in Ontario is where it started. After I turned someone in, um, and it's not usually a typical course of action for me because I don't have a lot of faith in the justice system, and now as a targeted individual, I certainly don't. Um, but anyway, it took a lot of years for me to figure out what was going on. I just thought, people were after me, people didn't like me. Um, I had bad luck. I'd build something up, it would get ripped down again. It was just a consistent thing. And I guess I only really clued in I knew I was being stalked for about a year, but I at first actually thought it was my ex. I have a really crazy story. Because I was gang stalked for so long, they actually sent a handler into my life. And they tried to set me up through her and wreck my name. And, she covertly went behind my back and turned people against me and spread stories and basically did what she was paid to do, which is to covertly destroy my life. She slept with everyone in my life behind my back. Uh, just tried to cause general disrespect, spread all kinds of false rumors about me in smear campaigns. And in the end, she purposely had it come out. It was a real setup that she'd been unfaithful. And as a result of that, um, I started to dig, and I had no idea that they were hacking my computer and my phones and everything. So it was all a total setup, designed to make me mad. And when I got mad, she took that and smeared me with it. I didn't threaten her. I sent her angry emails, but dear knows what they did because, they change things around on my computer and hack into things. And so she probably even changed the wording, although the 10 cops or whatever that came here to serve me a restraining order, which was totally bunk. I'd never done a thing to this woman. Uh, basically, like, told me, she didn't say you threatened her or whatever, but I had no idea at that point that she was actually, I believe, a government agent, and she was sent into my life to covertly destroy me after they had tried to isolate and frame me, and they had the whole neighborhood gang stalking me. And I mean, whenever I get an opportunity it would go sour, and all these things were being done covertly behind my back. So I just figured I was like, the most unlucky guy in the whole world. And you know it turns out that after all this happened, she started to covertly gang stalk me. They started constantly going by my house and overtly hacking my phones, brighting the house. I was starting to be followed. At first, when I found out about her, she had been living a double life, and I had no idea. She lived an hour and a half away from me, and she pretended to have a lot more custody of her child than she did. Um, so, as a result of that, um, I believed her that she was with her kid the whole time. I didn't know that I was her job, and when she left me, she'd basically clock out and live her own life, date dudes and do things, and, you know, have sex with my friends or my so-called friends, and whatever else and whoever else she was doing, and yeah, her ex-husband and you name it. So anyway, um, I was in the dark, and during that time, she's actually a really high-functioning psychopath, and she's clinically proven to have ASPD. I did a lot of research on her, and she writes books on psychopaths under pen names, which is her ultimate dupe because she pretends to be, a concerned, loving woman who cares so deeply. Meanwhile, she's one of the most heinous psychopath perpetrators you could ever imagine. Um, Her depravity knows no bounds. Uh, so, anyway, this is what they refer to as the honey trap. And this is what they laid out for me. So, after the honey trap, they led me to things that they thought were going to try to destroy me, because they had known I was in love with this woman. I was in love with her, obviously. Like, I was engaged to her and everything. And, I mean, I thought she was it. And I ignored, overt abuse for the longest time. She had done everything and used every trick in her arsenal as a psychopath, to cause me cognitive dissonance and, get me to doubt myself, gaslight me, get me to think I was crazy. Meanwhile, she went behind my back and destroyed my name and my reputation, and cut me off and isolated me from all my friends, my social circle. Everything died. Um, I was a truther. I was making videos up till when I met her. All that stopped. It was like everything in my life just stopped and stood still. In the beginning, she lied, got me to believe she was this amazing person by telling me this heartbreaking story the first night about her being gang raped and all this stuff, and and how she kept the baby, and it was just like, wow, it was a really like heartbreaking story to me. And I thought, wow, this person has like a pretty beautiful soul to do that, because a lot of people would have aborted a child, in a situation like that. It was just all absolute BS, total typical psychopathic trick that they use to get you to drop your guard, and and it worked, because every time that I think, hey, something doesn't add up, I think she's cheating on me or she's lying, or I would mentally reference that story in my head that she told me on the first night and think, no way, this is a really good person. This is a really moral girl who's above reproach. So, anyway, yeah, that's what they did. And so yeah, I'm going off. I didn't mean to talk so much about honey traps, but after that, the gang stalking started, and it just increased and increased and increased, till I couldn't go anywhere without being gaslighted, and like having street theater. And street theater is when people basically surround you and they talk about you. They'll mention things in your life that no one else knows. Maybe a conversation you had in the privacy of your own home, a hobby, anything that's personal and pertains to you that no one else really knows about but you. And they use it to let you know that you're being watched, you know. Um, Things increased. I'd be stalked, followed wherever I went. It just got worse and worse and worse. I still didn't realize that it was a government program and the government was involved. I just thought I'd had bad luck up until this point, and then, met this woman, and, again, my life was like a blues song. And it wasn't till really a few months ago that I woke up when they actually told me I was on a program. And then I started Googling things and looking up like organized stalking and things like that. And then I watched a video by a guy named James Harkin. Don't vouch for him, um, but he did help me. Tried to add the guy on Facebook. He wouldn't even add me. Claims to be a Christian. See him wearing Slayer shirts and all kinds of stuff. Whatever. Nothing against the guy, but he did help me in that capacity. Although I don't know who he is, what his motive is, if he's a genuine TI or not. I truly don't know. I'm just saying he alerted me to a group in my city called Citizens on Police Patrol. And when I looked up the program, I realized, oh my goodness, this is a gang stalking program. And being a Canadian TI, the government has their hands in everything here. So they're involved in health and safety. So if you're a targeted individual, they'll flag your medical files. They'll play with you at hospitals. I've been gang stalked at hospitals. You know, you name it. I mean, the life of a TI is a constant tactical military maneuver. And anyway, this is a bit of my story. And maybe I'll leave the first part off here.